Do you know what has truly been stirring me up over the last 5 years of practice? Every third patient over 40 comes to me with the same phrase. Ksenia, I wake up at 3 to 4 in the morning and that's it. I lie there until morning. And then comes the classic routine. Counting sheep, drinking milk with honey, listening to mantras, nothing helps. And do you know why? Because the reason has nothing to do with sheep and not even with stress, as most people think. In 25 years of medical practice, I have taken this problem apart literally down to the molecules. And today I will show you 5 real reasons for nighttime awakenings that even many of my colleagues keep silent about. Moreover, the 4th reason is so unexpected that you will most likely check it on yourself this very evening. And at the end of the video, I will give you a clear action protocol what to do right now so that in a week you sleep like a baby. Just stay with me until the end, because if you leave now, you will continue waking up every night at the same time. And this is not a figure of speech, it is physiology, which we are about to analyze. My name is Ksenia Novak, I am a practicing physician. And before we begin, answer yourself honestly. Do you wake up specifically between 3 and 5 a.m., not at midnight, not at 6 a.m., but precisely in this window? If yes, this is not a coincidence. This is your body screaming about a specific problem, and now we will find out exactly which one. Let's start with what most people consider the main culprits, but I will surprise you. Stress has almost nothing to do with it here. That is, nothing at all. Yes, chronic stress affects sleep, but it does not explain why you wake up specifically at 3 to 4 a.m. Why not in the middle of the night, or at 7 a.m.? That is where it gets interesting. Our body lives by circadian rhythms, internal biological clocks, and between 3 and 5 a.m., a critical transition between sleep phases occurs. At this time, a healthy person should be in the deepest phase of sleep, the one where even thunder would not wake them. But if something goes wrong, the body throws you out of this phase like a catapult. And this is where the most interesting part begins. Reason number 1, which you definitely did not suspect, is not cortisol. As the internet writes, it is a drop in blood sugar levels, hypoglycemia. Have you heard this word? Most of my patients shake their heads, and in vain. Imagine you had dinner at 7 p.m., and by 3 o'clock a.m., 8 hours have passed. Your liver has been steadily supplying glucose to the blood all night, but by 3 a.m., the reserves are depleted, blood sugar drops below the critical level. And what does a smart body do? It activates the rescue system, releasing adrenaline and cortisol. These stress hormones instantly raise sugar by extracting it from the liver. But they have a side effect. They stimulate you rigidly, and that's it. Hello, insomnia, until morning. This is especially true for those who eat early and lightly. A little salad, some kefir, and off to bed. Familiar? There is your explanation. There were not enough carbohydrates for the whole night. In a minute I will tell you how to fix this. But first, the 2nd reason. The liver. Yes, exactly it. Between those and 4 a.m., our liver works at peak activity. It performs a general cleanup, neutralizes toxins, processes alcohol, medications, and hormone breakdown products. This is its star hour. But if the liver is overloaded, it cannot cope quietly, and unnoticed it begins to produce heat and activate inflammatory processes. And you wake up, often in a light sweat, with a feeling of heat, especially if the day before you drank alcohol, even a glass of wine, or ate a heavy fatty meal, or take many medications. I have seen dozens of cases where people suffered 4 years from nighttime awakenings, and the reason was bile stagnation or the initial stage of fatty liver disease. The liver was screaming, but no one was listening, and they were treating it with antidepressants and sleeping pills. Familiar? The 3rd reason is hormonal, and it primarily concerns women after 40. But men don't leave you out of fact too. Just a little later, after 50. During perimenopause and menopause, there is a sharp drop in estrogen and progesterone levels. And progesterone is our natural tranquilizer. It works on GABA receptors in the brain, the same ones affected by sedatives. When there is little progesterone, the brain loses the ability to maintain deep sleep. Plus, the drop in estrogen causes hot flashes, and so you wake up at 3 a.m., drenched in sweat, with a pounding heart. In men, a similar story occurs. Only testosterone is to blame. After 50, its level drops, and this directly affects sleep architecture. Plus, the prostate enlarges, urination becomes more frequent, and now you wake up to go to the bathroom and then cannot fall back asleep. And here is an important point. If you wake up because of the urge to use the toilet, that is a separate story. It may be an overactive bladder or hormonal changes. But if you wake up for no reason and then go to the toilet because you are already awake, that is completely different. Do you understand the difference? Cause and effect have switched places. The fourth reason, the very one I promised, is sleep apnea. Breathing stops during sleep. And here be attentive, because this is more serious than it seems. When you snore, your airways periodically collapse. The brain receives a signal about oxygen deficiency and pulls you out of deep sleep, so that you take a breath. You may not even be aware of these awakenings. The brain simply moves you into a superficial phase for a few seconds, but by morning you feel exhausted. And now, attention. Apnea increases the risk of heart attack and stroke threefold. Do you understand? Because each breathing stop is stress for the heart and blood vessels, plus chronic brain hypoxia. This is no joke. How to check? Ask your loved ones to observe you at night or record yourself on a voice recorder. If you snore, then there is silence for 10 to 20 seconds, and then a sharp inhale. You have apnea, and this is a reason to urgently see a sleep specialist. Not tomorrow, this week. And the fifth reason, magnesium, or rather its deficiency. 90% of people over 40 have a hidden magnesium deficiency. This is not my invention. These are data from the World Health Organization. Magnesium is responsible for muscle and nervous system relaxation. It regulates the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone. When magnesium is low, you may fall asleep, but in the deep sleep phase, the body cannot fully relax. Muscles remain tense, the nervous system is on edge, and at 3 to 4 a.m., when the reserves are finally depleted, you wake up. This is often accompanied by calf cramps, leg twitching, and restlessness. If this is about you, it is almost certainly magnesium. Now, the most important thing: what to do about it. And I will give you a specific protocol that works in 80% of cases. But first, 2 important rules. Rule 1. Never take sleeping pills without a doctor's prescription. Never. They do not treat the cause. They mask the symptom, plus they cause dependence and destroy the natural architecture of sleep. In 6 months, you will not be able to fall asleep without a pill, and the problem will remain. Rule 2. If nighttime awakenings last more than a month, go to a doctor. Not to the internet, not to a neighbor, not to a healer, to a proper general practitioner or sleep specialist, because behind this may be a serious disease, from diabetes to heart failure. And now, the action protocol. Write it down. Step 1. Check dinner. The last meal should be 3 to 4 hours before sleep, but it must contain slow carbohydrates, buckwheat, brown rice, whole grain bread, plus protein: chicken, fish, cottage cheese. This will ensure a stable sugar level for the whole night. And no evening fasting if you wake up at night. This is not for you. If you are really not hungry and are used to eating early, an hour before sleep eat a handful of nuts, or half a banana. This will give slow glucose and help you make it to morning without sugar crashes. Step 2. Support the liver. If you have excess weight, reconsider your diet. Remove fried foods, spicy foods, and alcohol for the time being. Add bitters, lettuce, arugula, leafy greens. They stimulate bile outflow. You can add milk thistle or artichoke, but only after consulting a doctor. Because with gallstones, this is contraindicated. And drink enough water during the day, at least 2 liters. The liver loves water. It is easier for it to work. But the last glass should be no later than 2 hours before sleep, otherwise you will be running to the toilet. Step 3. Magnesium. Start taking magnesium in the form of citrate or glycerol. These are the most absorbable forms. The dose is 300 to 400 milligrams per day an hour before sleep. Do not take magnesium oxide. It is poorly absorbed and has a laxative effect. The course is at least a month. Magnesium does not work instantly. It needs time to accumulate but after 2 to 3 weeks, you will notice the difference. Falling asleep will become easier. Nighttime awakenings will decrease. And, an important point, if you take heart or blood pressure medications, check compatibility with your doctor. Magnesium can enhance the effect of some drugs. Step 4. Hormones. If you are over 45 and suspect a hormonal imbalance, get tested. Women, estradiol, progesterone, FSH/LH. Men, total and free testosterone, prolactin, and thyroid hormones, TSH, T3, T4. The thyroid can also be responsible for insomnia. Based on the results, the doctor may prescribe replacement therapy. And do not be afraid of hormones. Modern therapy with bioidentical hormones is safe and effective. These are not the horror stories from the 90s. This is a different level. Step 5. If you snore, get checked for apnea. There are simple home tests and special applications that record and analyze your sleep. Or you can do polysomnography in a clinic. This is the gold standard of diagnosis. If apnea is confirmed, there are solutions from special mouthguards that move the lower jaw forward to CPAP therapy, a device that delivers air under pressure and prevents the airways from collapsing. It sounds scary, but people get used to it in a week, and quality of life changes dramatically. Step 6. Sleep hygiene. Yes, it sounds banal, but it works. The bedroom should be cool, 18-20 grados, bajo cero dark, by blackout curtains or a sleep mask. Silencer plugs work wonders. And no phones an hour before bed. The blue light from the screen suppresses melatonin production. You think you are just scrolling the feed, but the brain thinks it is daytime and does not give the command to fall asleep. Better read a paper book, listen to calm music, take a warm bath, create a bedtime ritual. The brain loves predictability. And lastly, breathing practices. If you wake up at night and cannot fall asleep, do not lie in bed winding yourself up. Get up, drink some water, do breathing exercises. Here is a simple technique. Inhale, for a count of 4, hold for 7, exhale, for 8. Repeat 10 times. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for relaxation, and turns off the sympathetic one, the one that excites you. It works flawlessly. I use it myself when night shifts disrupt my routine. And now a question for you. Which of the above applies to you? Early dinners, snoring, hormonal changes? Write in the comments, and I will try to give personal recommendations. And here's what is important to understand. If you wake up at 3 to 4 a.m., this is not normal. This is not age. This is not well. That's life. This is a signal that something is going wrong in the body. And the earlier you hear it, the easier it will be to fix. Because chronic sleep deprivation is not just fatigue. It is a risk of diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular diseases, dementia. It is accelerated brain aging, reduced immunity. The list goes on. In 25 years of practice, I have seen how people suffer for years and then solve the problem in a month simply by understanding the causes, not with pills, but with understanding what is happening and with targeted changes. Therefore, do not ignore nighttime awakenings, do not get used to them, do not think that this is forever now. It is fixable, almost always fixable. Start simple. Adjust dinner, add magnesium, check hormones, and observe yourself for 2 weeks. Keep a sleep diary. Write down when you woke up, what you felt, what you ate in the evening. In a week, you will see patterns and understand your cause. And if you cannot cope on your own, go to a doctor. Do not be shy, do not postpone. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a basic need, without which everything else falls apart. If this video was useful to you, like it. This will help algorithms show it to other people who also wake up at night and do not know what to do. Subscribe to the channel if you want more honest health information from a practicing doctor. And be sure to watch the next video, where I will analyze why many people do not get enough sleep, even with 8 hours of sleep. There will be about sleep phases, chronotypes, and mistakes that destroy the quality of rest. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching to the end. I am Ksenia Novak, and I wish you healthy, deep sleep without awakenings every night.